It's the 3 on PLAX TV.
Flow the jit, yeah. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy PLAX I am back again with another episode of the 3 on PLAX TV. I've been running through these. I've been doing a bunch of these recordings, so if you see me wearing the same clothes, it's not because I'm dirty. I just record these on the same day. A lot of these on the same day. But I would like to just say I am proud of the Miami Heat. I'm still proud of the Miami Heat. Am I disappointed that they couldn't get the job done and win the championship? Yes. I am disappointed. I really wanted Jimmy to get that ring because he just plays so hard. But they weren't able to do it because Denver was just too much for them, and rightfully so. Denver was too much for a lot of different teams in the playoffs this year, and I completely understand. It's still disappointing, it's still saddening, but congratulations to Denver. But I would like to talk about Miami really quick. I'm still proud of the Miami Heat because what they were able to do, even without winning the championship, was extremely historic. As an 8th seed, who had to battle it out in the play-in, by the way, which people seem to forget, they were able to beat the first seed Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis Antetokounmpo. They were able to beat a very hot New York Knicks team, even though, the Knicks are the Knicks, but they were running high. Jalen Brunson was playing amazing. But yeah, they were running on a high, and they were able to beat them. And they were able to beat the Boston Celtics. They even went up 3-0, I believe, on the Celtics. And again, the series ended up going to 7 games. But still, going up 3-0 against the Celtics is no easy feat. That's magnificent. And we got to see some historic games from Jimmy Butler, like 56-point games and 40-point games and clutch games. And we got to see Bam. I feel like Bam has reached a new level of all-star. Bam never really... I always knew Bam was a good defender. I always knew Bam was a very skilled big. But Bam never, moved me. He never, stood out to me. You know what I'm saying? It was just Bam is good. He's decent. He's okay, right? He's a 20-8 guy, decent defender. He could guard outside. He could guard inside the paint. Just a good player, decent player. This playoff run, for me, has put Bam into another category, a slightly higher category than I had him in before. So going forward, though, with that being said, with Bam, I'm not content with mediocrity anymore because Bam proved in this playoff run that he isn't just your average big or just a mediocre big. And I'm not saying mediocre might be a bad word because Bam was always better than that, but he just never stood out to me. And now he does. And now going forward, I'm going to be looking at Bam and watching Bam. 18 and 6 games are not good for you. That's not a good game. You know what I'm saying? Anymore. Fred VanVleet said, once he won a championship and stuff like that, and was an all-star and different things like that, he said that a 20-point game isn't good enough anymore. For Bam, 18 and 6, 15 and 5 games aren't good enough anymore from you. And that's because you played so well during this playoff run, especially against Denver. Bam, honestly, in that series was the best player. As far on the Heat, he was the best player on the Heat consistently throughout that entire series against Denver. So huge shout out to Bam. Caleb Martin, Max Strus, and those guys, they elevated their play. They probably gonna get paid. They probably gonna get paid a pretty penny at some point. Huge shout out to them. I really like it. And against I think against Boston, Caleb Martin was the best player on that team, in my opinion. I know Jimmy had some great games, don't get me wrong, but in my opinion, against Boston, Caleb Martin was the best player because he was just so consistent. He was just consistently good. Jimmy started the series well. He kind of tapered off in the middle there, and then towards the end, he picked it up a little bit. But Caleb Martin was consistently solid throughout the entire series, and that's what made me say he was the best player because you knew he was getting 20 points. You knew he was he was rebounding, which is crazy. I didn't know he was a good rebounder like that. But I guess that's just what happened when you elevate your play. Max Strus. Gabe Vincent. I forgot about Gabe Vincent. I think Gabe Vincent was the best player in the Knicks series. Gabe Vincent was the best player in the Knicks series. But yeah, like as much as I'm pausing because I don't necessarily want to say this, but I think it needs to be said. I love Jimmy Butler. I made a video about Jimmy Butler before they even went on this run. I made a video about Jimmy Butler. I think when they beat the Bucks, I believe. I'll put it at the end of this video so you guys can check it out. I love Jimmy Butler. He's a dog. He plays hard. He brings it. Even when he's not playing well, he brings it. He's a leader. He knows how to get the best out of his teammates. Even when he's not performing well, he knows how to get the best out of his guys, right? But I just don't think you can win a championship with Jimmy as your number one guy. And that hurts to say, but you just can't. You can get there. Jimmy could get you there. But you need another superstar, all-star level guy to take you home. You see what I'm saying? Like, Jimmy will get you to the dance. But you need another guy to get you home safely. You know what I'm saying? That was cool. That was deep. That might be a clip. I ain't gonna lie. That was cool. I felt cool when I said it. That might be a clip. But Jimmy can get you to the dance, but you need another guy to get you home safely after the dance. Now, I've seen Miami. I've seen it like talks about trying to get Dame. Bradley Beal is available. I've seen talks about them trying to get Bradley Beal. Fred VanVleet is an unrestricted free agent, I believe, now because he opted out of his $22 million. So he's a possibility to try to go grab. I just think you need another guy along with Jimmy and Bam to help you take that next step and go to the next level and win a championship. Because now that underdog shit for Miami doesn't exist because y'all done been to the finals twice in the last 3 years. So that underdog shit is done. I don't think people are going to be looking at y'all and saying, oh, these guys are the underdogs. The only reason they really was in the play-in was due to injuries throughout the season. They had a bunch of injuries. Even during the playoffs, they had a bunch of fucking injuries. So that was probably the main reason they couldn't, like, they were the 8th seed and had to be in the play-in and all that stuff. But if they get a healthy season and add a Bradley Beal, a Dame, a Fred VanVleet, I think they have a legitimate chance to win a championship. Because if Bam is gonna continue to elevate his play, if Jimmy is gonna be Jimmy Butler like we expect him to be in the playoffs, and you add a Damian Lillard, you add a Bradley Beal, you add a Fred VanVleet or anybody else, along with the Caleb Martins and the Gabe Vincents. Even if you get rid of Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson so you could get that other guy, I feel like you just put yourself in a better position, you know what I'm saying, to win. Because when Jimmy's tapering off and, you know, the Caleb Martins and the Max Struses and the Gabe Vincents aren't having the greatest of games, you still have somebody keeping you in it and keeping you alive. That Damian Lillard, that Bradley Beal. You still got that other guy that's keeping you going. Because I feel like Jimmy, like in 2020, I feel like Jimmy just was gassed. because he missed a lot of like close to the basket buckets, and a lot of times they were relatively open shots and he was still missing them. And I think that's just because he was gassed, because he put so much effort into getting his guys there and motivating the guys, and 56-point games and 40-point games, that when he gets there, he's just tired. And he's still going to give you all he got, but by the time he gets to the finals, he doesn't have a lot, you know? And you know what? That's understandable, because Jimmy is the epitome of a player that outplays himself. Because Jimmy isn't supposed to be playing like this. He just isn't. He isn't supposed to be leading teams to the finals. That's not who he's not a Kevin Durant. He's not a LeBron James. He's not a Giannis or a Jokic or anything like that. He's supposed to be a mid-level average guy, and he's just willing himself to overperform, and I think that's beautiful. I love players like that. And Jimmy Butler is the epitome of that, because he's not supposed to be a superstar, but he proves to you that he can be and that he is. Because you don't see Kawhi and PG carrying teams to the finals. They get hurt. They've been getting hurt a lot, but you don't see them carrying teams to the finals. That's LeBron James shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, Miami wasn't supposed to be in the finals. If you look at my reviews, at my prediction videos, I had Miami losing almost every time besides against the Knicks. I wanted them to win, but I was just saying, realistically speaking, they're going to lose. I said that every video, if you look back at them. Every single video I said it, besides the Knicks. The Knicks, I wasn't too sure. I was like 50-50 about the Knicks. The Knicks could win or Miami could win. And a part of me was really hoping that Miami proved me wrong one more time and won the championship. But unfortunately, they weren't able to do it, because that high screen and roll with Jokic and Murray, with Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon and anybody else out there, just those four, really Jokic and Murray, right? But those four out there, Murray, Jokic, Aaron Gordon, and Michael Porter Jr., is just too much. Especially when they playing the way they've been playing, they played this playoff run. It's just too much to handle for anybody, I think. For anybody. Because Jokic can put it on the floor. Jokic can shoot threes. Jokic can score in the paint. Jokic can score in the post. So you can't just, like on the high screen and roll when Murray is coming to get the ball, you have to stay with Murray because Murray can score in all different ways. You can't really leave Jokic because he can score in all different ways and get other people involved. You got Aaron Gordon cutting to the basket, who's extremely athletic, and who I am proud of, who has improved his game like crazily improved his game. I might even do a video on that, on how Aaron Gordon has changed his game. And then you got Michael Porter Jr., who's basically an off-brand Kevin Durant, but an off-brand Kevin Durant is better than most basketball players, which is fucking crazy, because Kevin Durant, as much as I talk shit about him, Kevin Durant is a fucking great basketball player, and an off-brand Kevin Durant is better than most. So it's like, what do you do? And then you throw KCP or Bruce Brown, a shooter in there. It doesn't matter. It's just nothing realistically you can do. And then you got Uncle Jeff coming off the bench giving you 5 to 10 points, surprisingly. You know, you got Christian Braun, the rookie, who stepped up. That one game he got like 15 to 18 points or something like that. I wasn't expecting that from him. And he stepped it up. But he's a winner, though, from what I understand. He's won in high school, college, and now the NBA. That's just what he do. He win championships. He probably going to win a couple more here with Denver, depending on how they go, because they have Jokic for 5 more years, Murray for 5 more years, MPJ for 5 more years. They have Aaron Gordon for 3 years. Christian Braun they got for 5 years. They got, I think, KCP for 2 and Bruce Brown for 2. Like the core of the team, along with the role players, are there for a while. So I don't doubt that they could win again unless Miami is able to add a very important piece to like put them over the hump. But I don't know if that'll win them the series. But I'll talk more. I'm probably gonna do the Aaron Gordon video next because I'm extremely proud of Aaron Gordon, but I'm still proud of the Miami Heat because what they did was historic. They weren't supposed to make it to the finals, and they did. They did it in a crazy fashion as well. I'm very proud of Jimmy Butler and what he was able to do. And for the second time, this is the second time he was able to like do what people thought he couldn't. But he does need some help. He does need more help. I'm proud of Bam for stepping up. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, and Caleb Martin cooking. Just elevated their game. I'm just Duncan Robinson too. Duncan Robinson elevated too. He showed me something for sure. Even though he probably gonna be one of the guys that get traded for that extra piece, Duncan Robinson showed me something. Maybe they could try to keep him. I don't know. Maybe they could try to finesse something and keep him. But let me know what you thought of this video in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about Miami and Denver and what Miami could do to get better. Do you think Denver is the next dynasty? I partially think so. Because Murray and Jokic, that duo is scary. And I think they finally realized that themselves. MPJ is only getting better. Aaron Gordon, I love him. And then their role players aren't going anywhere anytime soon. I don't know, man. We'll see. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know some different basketball topics you would like for me to talk about. I love basketball, so if it's something that I don't know, I'll research it or anything like that. Make sure you check out the RP podcast if you want to hear me talk about different stuff with my buddy Rick. We drop episodes every Monday. We do Artist of the Week. We do reaction videos. We do a bunch of stuff over there. So go over to the RP podcast. Make sure you check us out. Make sure you like. Make sure you comment. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you ding that notification bell so you know every time I drop a video. And most of all, YouTube. I love you guys. Peace.
It's the 3 on PLAX TV.
Flow the jit, yeah.